guys. This is Shilpi Thapar. So today we are again with a very interesting topic. Your profile is your power. Branding for directors. We are diving today in a very overlooked power of personal branding for directors. Your CV, social media presence, and public speaking aren't just professional tools. They work together to shape how others see you, influence decisions, and even open doors to the boardroom opportunities. To throw light on a very important aspect on branding for directors, joining us today is a very distinguished personality in the world of personal branding, Dr. Amit Nagpal, an expert in corporate branding and governance, to guide us how the directors can craft a personal brand that reflects board professionalism. Dr. Nagpal is a business storyteller with a special interest in brand storytelling, data storytelling, and social media marketing through storytelling. He has over 25 years of experience as a teacher and practitioner of brand management and media marketing, including television, print, and digital and new media. He has authored 4 books, including Amazon bestseller, Personal Branding, Storytelling, and Beyond. He's a knowledge partner of board stewardship, visiting professor of Master Union School of Business, president of Bloggers Alliance, and advisor to NASCOM community. He has been coaching chief executive officers, chief technical officers, tech entrepreneurs, startup founders, and coaching in personal branding and storytelling. He's also a founder of Bloggers Alliance. It's a blogger and influencer community with over 1,000 members. He focuses on mentoring students from IIM, MDI Gurgaon, BIMTech, and V School Mumbai, IIFT, in live projects and internship, building the bloggers and digital creators community in India, and prepare the strategic plans and blueprint for members outreach and learning events. Such fantastic and very lavish profile. Welcome to my show, sir. I am honored to have you here. And we look forward for an insightful discussion on a very important topic, which is often overlooked, by the directors, your personal branding. So, sir, let us dive into a very insightful discussion. So, sir, a first question I would like to put you is, how can directors align their CV, social media, and speaker profile to build a cohesive personal brand that reflects both professionalism and authenticity?
Thanks, Shilpi, for the wonderful introduction. So each of these, the CV, the social media profiles, and the speaker profile, they have to highlight different aspects of your, persona or personality. Let's say the speaker profile should highlight your public speaking and storytelling skills. So storytelling makes you a good public speaker. So these 2 skills should be highlighted.
Right.
What speaking assignments you have done in the past. So those kind of things should be highlighted. In the social media profiles, your thought leadership has to be highlighted. And it has to be, done in such a way that you are authentic and, without compromising on the professionalism aspect. So you have to be human, you have to be approachable, yes, authoritative. So that kind of profile has to be created. When it comes to, your board CV, depending upon the executive director or the independent director role, so independent directors, of course, are responsible, for example, for minority shareholders. So those kind of things can be highlighted. The very, very important aspect is, highlighting those skills. So supposing you are interested in, joining the technology board committee. So your technology related skills have to be highlighted in your CV, your digital transformation, your digital dexterity, those kind of things.
Excellent, sir. So I have also observed, when the CV comes for the boardroom opportunities, for inducting as an independent director. So I didn't find a difference between a plain resume which we send for the job and which we are sending for the board opportunities. I think there has to be a vast difference in, structuring those resumes also. Yeah. Can you throw some light, sir, how to prepare a board profile for the directors?
Right. See, one is the fundamental difference between an executive CV and a board CV has to be understood, because the board CV has to talk the corporate governance language, not the operational activities. It has to talk about strategy. It has to talk about, your oversight skills. It has to talk about your CSR and ESG skills. It has to talk about, the different major board committees in India. So, we have to also remember that each board member is not only part of just one committee.
Hmm.
You may be heading one committee and you may be a member of another two or three committees.
Exactly.
Keeping that in mind, there will be two category of skills highlighted in a different way. So there is a primary skill. So maybe you position yourself as a technology and digital transformation professional. So that becomes your primary skill.
Okay.
And your secondary skills are maybe audit, it is ESG. So those, of course, the primary skills are highlighted more and secondary skills are highlighted comparatively less.
Got it. So it has to be a skill-based profile, right? It not has to be an executive profile. Like what is your education and everything. So that it has to start with your skills. How you can better contribute to the board.
Yes.
Yes.
And, in terms of the language has to be corporate governance language and
Yes.
what basically,
That
what
keyword has
value.
to be used in that. Yes. Got it,
Right.
sir. So how often the director should update their profile, their CVs, so that they can ensure that they are relevant and aligned with the market trends.
Right. So minimum every year you must update your profile. But if you are a very, very active, ambitious person, maybe in 6 months you have added
Hmm.
many profile,
Right.
then you update it every 6 months.
Right. Sir, so what are the key qualities with the director should highlight in their profile to establish the credibility, attract the board roles, and influence the boardroom dynamics? As you say that, the skills are very important to be highlighted in the profile.
Right. So both the skills as well as the achievements.
Okay.
Okay. So in fact, I talk
Problem
about,
solving.
pardon?
Problem solving.
Problem.
Like what problem
Right.
you have solved on the different boards, that can be highlighted.
Right. Yeah. So that would become anecdote stories,
Okay.
uh, which validate, what you are talking about. So in CASA model, I talk about four things.
Okay.
K starts with knowledge.
Hmm.
So your knowledge. Then A is your, your attitude, whether it is your attitude of continuous learning, for example.
Right.
S stands for skills, which is more, knowledge is more theoretical while skills are more practical, your exposure, experience. And finally, the aesthetics in terms of, packaging everything in a very structured, professional way.
Right. Right.
So yeah, these things have to be presented in such a way that like board CV should be 1 to 2 pages.
Hmm.
You can also have maybe two kind of CVs. There is a one pager which you share initially,
Yes.
and if they invite you for an interview, then you
Hmm.
share a more page, 3 page,
3 pages.
detailed.
Which can include the anecdotes and case studies and what problems you have solved. So in detail CV.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Very good point, sir. So we need to have 2 CVs for the
Yes,
board profile. Yes. Excellent, sir.
yes.
Sir, how does the director's online presence impact their reputation, visibility, and decision making in the corporate world? How important it is? How important your social
Right.
media presence is there to increase your credibility?
See, if you look at it, pre-social media age, I say that we only had celebrity management.
Yes.
So you were Sachin Tendulkar or Amitabh Bachchan or, Milkha Singh, and
Yes.
you would write books or, there would be biography, autobiography, there would be events. So only the management of celebrity brands were done. Once social media arrived, which technically social media started around 2004 with maybe Orkut kind of platforms.
Hmm.
It got more attention, became more powerful by 2006 when Facebook and Twitter both were launched. And then more and more people started using social media in terms of its, the reach increased, and social media over a period of time, people understood the power of social media as a brand building.
Right.
My teacher, Michael Margolis, actually, he says that social media democratized storytelling. So pre-social media, maybe only Milkha Singh could tell his story through a film or a book. But now through social media, anybody had the power to tell their
Power to.
story and
Yes.
build their brand.
This is rather has become more tougher also, because you need to stay relevant. What you are posting on the social media, your content should be to that extent, which interests the audience at large. So a proper
Yes,
planning is required even for the social media management is required, for doing your branding of social media.
right. So a lot of people have that misconception that creating content is equal to building your brand.
No,
No,
yes,
it has to start with a strategy. You
exactly.
know, what are your brand values? How do
Yes,
you want to position your brand?
yes, yes.
How are you going to align your personal brand and your professional.
Right, right,
So that lot of strategic thinking has to be done before you start building your brand.
right. And there has to be a line, sir, between your professional branding and your personal branding. Then suppose if you are on LinkedIn, then you cannot post more of the personal, things on the LinkedIn. It has to be purely professional. So that demarcation or that line needs to be drawn and needs to be understand also.
Yeah, but what I would say, supposing I had shared one story on LinkedIn,
Yes,
in which I talked about, when I was studying in maybe class seventh or eighth, my
yes,
grandfather started giving me pocket
yes,
money.
yes, yes.
Now, there is a personal story which has a professional
Exactly.
relevance.
Learnings are there, sir. Lessons are there.
Yes. Then we can share personal stories also, but they should have professional
Professional
relevance.
learnings. Excellent, sir. Sir, with the increasing use of AI in recruitment nowadays, how important is it for the directors to optimize their online profiles for algorithms and search visibility? So how can we be updated? In this era of AI.
Right. So first thing is we have to understand the keywords.
Hmm.
Let's say again, I would divide the keywords into two categories: the primary keywords and the secondary keywords. So let's say board leadership or corporate governance would be the primary keyword. Any person, any board director, executive, non-executive, nominee, independent, needs to know corporate governance, needs to understand board leadership. So these are
Exactly.
the primary keywords for everyone, any board member. The secondary keywords in terms of algorithms and I'm talking about softwares, how
Right.
they would shortlist your CV.
Search visibility. Yeah.
Let's say they are looking for a person for the ESG committee. So ESG of course becomes the keyword. CSR becomes the keyword. So depending upon the board committees, also the keyword would change.
Yes. 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 That needs to be studied by the directors, before drafting their board profile.
Right,
What words the AI catch, for the search visibility.
right.
Excellent, sir. Sir, what common mistakes should directors avoid when curating their personal brand across multiple platforms? Like we discussed,
Yes.
there has to be a line between your personal branding and professional branding.
Right. So let's see, there are three, four fundamental principles which one must keep in mind. I'll give you one interesting example. There was a CEO in US
Okay.
who went for a vacation. He posted his beach photographs on Facebook in public mode. Now, if you are sharing something in friends mode, then it is fine. But when a CEO is posting anything, even in Facebook or Instagram in public mode, then the CEO was fired from his job.
I remember that case, sir. It was very much on the Twitter and LinkedIn and all that. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So in India, I haven't heard any such case so far, but that shows that companies are taking your social media presence seriously. Specifically, see, I would say as a general manager or VP, you might say views are personal. You might put
Yeah.
that thing on your
Yes.
social media, but when you become the CEO of the company, anything they say is seen as the company's voice.
Yeah,
So your
exactly.
personal
You are the
voice.
face of the company, sir. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
I think these people who are sitting on the senior management, they should be very aware of some social media etiquettes actually. What to post and what,
yes,
because it directly hampers your market value of your shares of your company. It hampers the stakeholder interest. So they have to be very careful, what they are posting on their social media accounts and handles. So yeah, that's
right.
education need to be given to them. And I am sure you are training so many CEOs and senior management personals.
Right. And if you remember, just a week or 10 days back, there was a news that a person joined XYZ company as independent director, and the same day the share went up
Yes.
just because of that person joining as an
Yes.
independent director. So you have to understand the critical role you
Yes.
are playing when you are on the board.
Yes. And your brand value, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So sometimes your brand value can play such an important role that a company might be able to get a good investor because of a certain person
Exactly.
as an independent.
Exactly, sir. Most of the time I have seen that.
Right.
Because investor sees who are there on the board actually. So it's not like just
Yes.
a name, a celebrity name. It's not like that. You need to have expertise also with that. But then everything has to be gone simultaneously. Need to develop simultaneously. And
Exactly.
obviously, it's a brand value in this kind of sphere where you operate in the corporate governance sphere. If you don't have an expertise, how you'll able to build a brand? So you need to show your knowledge also. No? That's everything goes simultaneously.
Yes. So you have to be an authority on
Authority.
your domain
Exactly. On a
also.
subject matter. Yes, sir. Excellent, sir.
Right.
So how can a director's personal brand impact boardroom dynamics and decision making?
Yes. So the director's personal brand makes an impact. When we say boardroom dynamics and decision making, so we are talking basically inside the boardroom.
Yes.
So, for example, your trustworthiness. What is personal brand? Personal brand is actually showcasing your, CASA and your track record in the CASA.
Right.
Your knowledge over a, subject over maybe 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
Okay. So, your track record. And what is that track record doing? That track record is building your trust. So, maybe other board members trust you as an audit expert. you
Yes.
know, they take your views very seriously because of the reputation and brand you have developed.
I've seen that, sir. It is very true actually. If you are having a proper brand and you're coming with a sizable experience in the board, then there is no second thought, in accepting your views. I've seen that, sir. That's the
Right.
reality. And so brand
And
building is so important.
and if you have seen that viral video of Mr. Shiva Kumar, he said that hardly 5% of board members actually come prepared for the board meetings.
Exactly,
So
sir.
those 5% of course would have a much stronger personal brand
Yes.
because their
Yes.
preparedness for the board
Yes.
meeting will
Yes.
show in the board discussions.
Very true, sir. They fully come prepared, doing their homework, and that also builds a trust and confidence. The entire board. That also build your brand actually. So it is all in your hands.
Exactly.
And as you say, proper strategy and planning is required. Nothing can be done without proper planning, sir. You cannot haphazardly go in the boardroom and take your decisions and come out. You're dealing with so much high stakes of stakeholders there.
Right.
Excellent, sir. Sir, can you provide tips for directors who struggle to strike this balance, especially when transiting from the operation roles to the board positions?
Yes, so it is. I think it is a very common human tendency
Hmm.
to highlight things like, for example, how you were taking care of operations, day-to-day activities. So that is the one mindset shift is required.
Hmm.
Okay, so instead of talking about marketing operations, it has to be talk about marketing strategy. So everything at a strategic level,
Level. Yes.
has.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a very important point. And then, of course, the second important thing is the the board jargon or the corporate governance jargon or the
Hmm.
actually it shows that you understand the board. Now, a lot of people may dismiss the jargon. The jargon is not so important. The purpose of the jargon here is that you understand what is financial oversight. You have worked as an independent director. You understand the boardroom language. That is the purpose.
Excellent, sir. Because I have, people come to me on daily basis that we are in the job. They must be a CEO level or a senior management level, but now they want to shift their career to the boardroom positions. How can we do that? So this is a very common problem, with this executive, the people who are on executive roles, they face. So it's a challenge for them. And then
Right.
again comes the role of brand building in that.
Yeah, in a way, you can say there is some level of rebranding which is required.
Right.
When you change your executive CV to a board CV, as you have transitioned from an executive role to a board role, then there is that rebranding which happens, in your CV, in your social media
Yes.
profile,
Yes.
which
Even your
okay,
appearance, the way you speak. Everything counts, sir. It's a combo actually. So
Exactly.
rebranding is to be done. That's a keyword. Yeah.
Yes.
Such a fantastic conversation, and thank you so much for coming over here and sharing such a insightful views on a very overlooked topic, which is a personal branding for directors. And I think your profile is a power, and it should not be overlooked at any way if you want to shift your career to the boardroom positions. So this has been such an engaging conversation, sir. Your profile is more than just a list of achievements. It reflects who you are as a leader and a director. Building a strong, authentic, and professional brand not only boosts your credibility, but also shapes the way you influence the decision in the boardroom. So that's a bottom line. To our listeners, just remember that your profile is your personal brand. So every detail counts. Keep working on it and with proper care. Until next time, take care and stay motivated. Thank you.